Make real change. Make change real. The process is beautiful. Empower your mentality to make real change in the world. This is Michael. I just wanted to just kind of brief synopsis. We've been talking about the D and the idea, which is development. We went through personal development, which is cultivating self. Then we're going through social development, which is cultivating the community. Now we're stepping into economic development. Economic development. Okay. Anchor scripture is Proverbs 21:5. It says, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." Again, the plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. The plans of those who are working consistently lead to a profit. So whatever you're doing, do it diligently, do it consistently, and a profit will happen. Even if it's $89, it's still profit. Even if it's 1% margins, it's still profit. But haste, rushing the processes, rushing everything with no plan, will lead to poverty. Change is about planning. To be successful, you have to plan. Okay? So if personal development is the seed and social development is the garden, then economic development is the harvest. And we all like harvest time, right? Everybody loves Thanksgiving dinner. It's time to eat. So the economic development piece, in a way, is the harvest. Okay. So it is where your vision intersects with the value that you bring. It is where your preparation meets your opportunities, and where you're disciplined at. This disciplined effort that you've had produces a tangible impact. So that means you be able to manifest what you have been planting, the self that is becoming. Okay. Economic growth is not merely the accumulation of wealth, it is the creation of resources that empower. Again, economic growth is not an accumulation. We're not just stockpiling. Okay. We're empowering, we're sustaining, and we're expanding our influence for the common good. Expanding our influence for the common good. We need an economic development. Economics is for everybody. It's broad-based, not specific. Economic development begins with stewardship. You have to be able to manage it. Every skill that you acquire, every resource you manage, every opportunity you seize is a seed planted with the intention of multiplying. Diligence, discipline, and discernment are the soil, water, and sunlight of financial and organizational growth. Again, diligence, discipline, and discernment are the soil, water, and sunlight of the financial and organizational growth that you're looking for in economic development. Without these things, without them, even the best ideas wither under the pressures of mismanagement. And it also withers under short-sightedness, lacking visions, right? True economic development requires foresight. You got to be able to see what's not being seen or what's not in front of you. You have to be forward thinking, a visionary. That goes back to creativity, vision. It demands a focus beyond short-term gains. So it's not about the short term. It's about long term and the commitment to sustaining the growth that you have gotten. How do you sustain the growth? Entrepreneurs and leaders who understand this principle think beyond immediate profits. They invest in infrastructure, they invest in systems, and in people. So what is it? If they invest in infrastructure, they invest in systems, and people. And these three things help them create a long-term prosperity of their business, of their organization. Most successful managed companies invest in these three things. You'll see it. They're always upgrading the buildings. They're always looking at the best software that can give them the most productivity. If not, they're updating constantly. And then they invest in high talented people. Okay. Your human capital is amazing. Okay. Your people within your organization is what makes the organization run. So why not invest in them? Okay. They see the unseen potential in industries. So foresight is also being able to see what's unseen. That goes back to this faith leadership thing. Okay. And they all understand the potential in industry, market, and in the communities. All your nonprofits, there's something that's missing in your community. That is what you need to see. Even if it's a for-profit, what's missing in the community? What is missing in the marketplace? What retail item is missing? Okay. And not only do they see that, they also act. That's a big thing. It's one thing to see a problem, but it's another thing to act on it. Yep. And you have to act with purpose and prudence, which means be sharp as a knife. You need to cut, and you need to be precise with it. Execute. I love that word. So risk is an inevitable companion of growth. So remember, go back to Risky Business if you want to watch it. We're talking about entrepreneurship. The entrepreneur understands that progress without calculated risk is stagnation in disguise. I'll say that again. Progress without a calculated risk is stagnation, because you will run into something that is going to stop you. But if you've calculated those risks, you have another plan for when that resistance happens. So when the change happens and you're being resisted because you're trying to implement change, as a leader, we implement change. We disrupt industry. And when we go to disrupt industry, that pushback, we have to plan for the risk and what's going to happen. And if you don't, you'll just stay stuck. If you're not able to see that, that's going to be a problem. So risk without wisdom is just recklessness. You're taking risks and you don't have wisdom. You're just reckless. Who wants to do business with a reckless mind? Economic development requires balance, the courage to step forward in uncertainty. Okay. So when times are uncertain, you have to be like Moses. Moses approached. It says that Moses went into the dark where God was. Everybody else was scared. Okay. He walked into an uncertain place knowing that God was in the midst. And the discipline to inquire or ensure that every decision, everything you decide is informed, is deliberate, and aligned with long-term objectives. But you got to understand that economic growth is never purely transactional. It's not just you do this, I do that for you. It's about relations. It's relational. You heard of emotional resonance. It has to resonate with people, right? It's relational. The strongest economic development is relational. We can grow together when we are in relationship. The most enduring forms of prosperity are those that uplift others. So it's relationships. Think about it. Jobs being created, opportunities that expanded, and resources that are shared. When you shared resources, you can move money throughout your organization. This team's under budget. This team's over budget. This team's under budget. They're under budget here. So you can exchange resources so that the whole organization as a whole can survive. Wealth, when stewarded with integrity, becomes a tool for transformation, not just stockpiling, which is accumulation. We're not trying to accumulate wealth. That's not the goal. We need to steward wealth. That is the goal. Actually, that's the principle, I should say. We're not setting goals. We're setting principles and laws for our lives, right? Subconsciously, this is the subconscious law for success. It is that wealth is to be stewarded with integrity. It's not a tool to be accumulated. We're not trying to accumulate wealth. We're trying to steward wealth, our wealth. That's why you get estate planners and people like that to show you how to manage what you have. Accountants show you how to manage your money, right? A money manager, that's what they do, okay? And they do it with integrity, hopefully. You know what I mean? There's numerous celebrities out there that hired a money manager, and this person just ruined their entire estate because they did not steward what they were given or the position that they had with integrity. So wealth, yes, accumulates. It accumulates. However, it must be stewarded. Okay, moving on. It is the lever by which we advance communities. So wealth is the lever by which we advance our communities, our innovative industries, and leave a legacy beyond ourselves. Okay. So we advance our communities with an economic development. We innovate industries with economic development, and we leave a legacy behind ourselves with economic development. Okay? There's going to be a lot of, if you followed me from the beginning and you knew what change was, I went through these aspects of change, they're going to be riddled throughout this stuff. Okay? These are change words. Economic development also requires adaptability, change word. You have to be able to pivot. Markets tend to change, technologies evolve, and the world shifts in ways we cannot always predict. Because growth is not linear, it is dynamic. Okay? It does this. It goes up and down and all around. Okay? It's dynamic. It's not linear. It's not a straight line. Leaders who succeed understand that the importance is being a continuous learner. Another importance is staying informed, staying relevant, and adjusting strategies in response to the reality that you see. It's not out of fear or nostalgia. So fear is forward thinking, false evidence appearing real. You know, I stole that from whoever I heard that from. Or nostalgia, which is a past experience that reminds you of something that made you feel good, right? That's a nostalgia moment. Oh man, we went back to our childhood on that. Yeah, no. You have to adjust your strategies on reality. Making change real. So adjust that strategy to make that change real for you. Okay. Every successful venture, every thriving organization begins with an intentional mindset. Economic growth is not simply about capital, it's about cultivating value. It's about planting ideas in a fertile ground, tending to them with diligence, and creating an environment where those ideas can bear fruit for everybody. Economic growth is not simply about capital gain. It's about value added to the marketplace, planting ideas in the right soils, in the right environments, the environments that can help them, lead them, guide them diligently so that there is a profit, okay, and not hastily, like on the rocky places. We talked about the path, right? We talked about the path. We talked about the stony ground. We talked about the thorns. You want good soil for your ideas. And ultimately, when you put that in a great environment, an environment that you see fit for your idea, that's where fruit can be bared, and that is the economic development I'm talking about. Okay. That was quick. It's short, but it's to the point. Okay. So as we move in from a tangible harvest, something that you see, the fruit that's in your hands, okay, we enter into innovation and transformation. Okay. Growth tends to accelerate, knowledge expands during this time, and the tools progress exponentially. So multiply, right? And what this is that I just described is technological development, which is the last piece of this developmental piece. And the technological development is where your vision and ingenuity converge. So if you look at lenses, converging is coming together, right? And it comes together to create new realities. It reshapes the industry that you're in, whether it be ministry, healthcare, whether it be military, whether it be government, whether it be family oriented, like education, teaching, right? Whatever industry you're in, it reshapes that. The technological advancements that we see today have reshaped everything that we're doing. I remember when was it Windows changes, right? Think about it. It affects your entire way you work. When they added autopilot and copilot and they added AI technology, it's changing how productive we are and what we're able to accomplish. Less time, we have more time. Less time to do that stuff, more time to do other things, right? So it shapes the industry. It reshapes it. And it also extends our influence in ways we can't imagine. I'll say that. It extends influence in ways we cannot imagine. So economic development lays the foundation. Technological development builds bridges. And together, they shape the path from potential to legacy. My name's Michael King. I also go by Coach King for all my Bullet Creek High School football players and everybody over at all the kids that I coached. Shout out to them. They gave me this day. They gave me Coach King, especially Coach Luzar gave it to me. Coach King, he used to say. That's where it came from. And so I've kind of adopted it as a persona, but my name is Michael. Okay, that's who I am. And here's the thing, guys. We just want to be able to make real change. I just want to be able to make real change. I'm tired of change not being real. I'm tired of change not being obtainable for people. I'm tired of people being afraid of change. I know I was. I hated it. I still don't like aspects of it, but I didn't like it because I didn't understand it. I didn't know when it was time to change and when it was time not to change. But now, with the idea, I have this tool to help me manage change successfully. And I'm hoping that if you're listening, it helps you. All right, so make real change, make change real. The process is beautiful. Empower your mentality, make real change the world. Peace out.